Hey everyone, welcome to Sunflower Faith. I am your host, Jasmine Smith, and today we're going to be doing our first online virtual paint tutorial. Now, I know the world is on lockdown. I know. They got us in quarantine because this coronavirus has showed up and has invaded our normal way of living and doing things. But not to worry, not to worry. I got some fun things for us to do. Now, if you look inside of your paint and sip kit, you'll see that there are a couple of pre-sketched canvases. There are a couple packs of brushes. You'll see acrylic paint. You'll see a bottle of wine and some paint palettes. So we're going to be using these tools to create this nice, lovely painting that you see before you on your screen today. So guess what? Let's get started. Before we start painting, I want to tell you a little bit of something about these brushes. So the brushes that we have, they come in a set of 10. And on the back of the brush, on the back of the pack, it has a brush guide. And it gives you a basic outline of what each different type of paintbrush can be used for. So the brushes that we're using today are the round brushes and the shader brushes. They give us nice clean lines. It helps us get into nice tight spaces. And if you keep this brush guide on hand, like, it's really helpful in helping you to get to learn your different types of brushes and different styles of brushes for different styles of painting. Now, my favorite brush is the filbert brush. I use it a lot when creating portraits and different type of round elements. And let's get started with our paint tutorial. Now, you're gonna need a cup of water, a cup of clean water. You also are going to need to put your colors onto your paint palette, whichever colors you decide you want to use. Now, for the paint tutorial, I decided to use acrylic paint. And this is the acrylic paint by Apple Barrel, and it's pretty much craft paint. It has a nice matte finish. It's quick drying and it's easy to clean up. So I decided to get this paint so it will be less of a hassle as far as us cleaning up when it's time to clean up versus using a different type of paint. And it's easy to clean up if you spill it somewhere on the carpet or on the floor. It's really easy to clean it up. So acrylic paint dries fairly quickly, so we'll have to work really swiftly with our background. And the first thing we're going to be doing is our background. So I started my background just by throwing my colors up on the board in no specific order, no specific pattern. And I decided to do orange because I'm a simple girl. I like simple things. And orange, I've been really into this sherbet color lately. I have no idea why, but I just been really feeling the color orange. So I put this orange on my board, and I went back in and I added some white to mix my colors in really nice and smooth. I wanted to create like a sherbet orange almost. So I went ahead and added some white in there, and I mixed those colors in and blended my background together. Now, one thing that's really useful as far as doing your background is making sure that you are creating your strokes in the same direction. It gives your background a nice, clean, even finish, especially for the paint or the look that I have chosen to demonstrate in this painting. I want my background to be nice and smooth, not too rough, not too edgy. So I decided to use the same stroke pattern for creating my background. And I just want to reiterate, there is no right or wrong way to do this. I want you to be as creative as you possibly can with your background. You don't have to be simple like me. You might put elephants on your background, or Louis Vuitton symbols, or flowers, polka dot stripes. Do whatever you please with your background. Make it your own. I just chose to keep it simple. And so there we have it. And as you can see, I'm going throughout this video, I'm loading my brush up with a lot of paint. I'm getting my bristles really, really wet to create those nice clean lines around the edges of my objects that are in the painting. another useful tool as far as doing this paint tutorial is when you start to create those, start painting in between objects, it's helpful to make that brush really wet and apply pressure in order to get those nice clean lines. And as you can see with my brush, as I'm going in between the chairs, I am applying pressure but also twisting my brush just to keep that paint going in the direction that I choose for it to go. I understand that when you're painting, you are the creator, you are the master of the brush. You know, the brush is at your control, so you just want to use that to the best of your ability. And now I'm going to take this nice little round brush and I'm going to go inside in between my flowers and I'm going to get in those hard to reach places. And then I will take my nice flat shader brush and I'm going to smooth that paint out and blend it back into my background. Next, you will see me working on my table. Now, I have a thing for nice dark brown tables. I just love dark brown furniture. It gives it this nice antique look, this nice rustic look. I like that old nice looking furniture. So you'll see me mixing some brown with some red and a little bit of black to create this nice dark brown that I'll be using for my table. And as I'm painting this table, notice how I'm stroking my painting in a nice C shape, a nice C stroke pattern, a nice curved stroke pattern. This indicates the direction of the table. It gives the viewer a nice idea that this table is not a flat surface, that it is rounded. It's not a rectangular table, it's rounded. So that's why you see me using this nice C pattern, and I'm going back in adding layers of black just to give that table some nice dimension. I'm darkening that table. And also, I'm creating my light source. So my light source in this painting will be coming from the right side. And the right side of my painting will be the brightest, which is why you see the white on the walls. You'll see the table look a lot brighter on the right side of the table, and it'll look darker on the left side. And as you can see, I'm starting to do my chairs. I'm going in and I'm adding some brown and some black and just kind of putting it in there. No particular pattern. And I'm just throwing it in there just to give it that nice old vibe. And next you'll see me adding some white to my table, some yellow and white to the right side of my table with a little bit of brown, just to create those nice highlights, basically to build on top of my table to indicate that it is darker on one side and lighter on the other. Next, you'll see me mix some red, purple, and blue, and I'm going to create this nice purple vase. It will gradually get lighter, like a gradient effect, towards the top right side of my vase. Next, I'm going to take some black and I'm going to put it up underneath the right side of my painting just to create a nice cast shadow. And I want to leave black in its purest form on that side. Then you'll see me add more whites, more yellows to my table just to indicate more light shining through. This next portion is up to you. Is pretty much your discretion. Now, some might say it's a window, some might say it's a painting, but for me, I decided to just leave it up to my reader, leave it up to my viewers. So I created a nice little sky in this frame that I've drawn on the wall, and I've created some hills, some clouds that I just used with white. And then I went back and I painted my flower stems. And as you can see, I'm just throwing my colors up on my flowers in no particular order, making it as messy as possible. Not necessarily the neatest. And then I'm going to go back with my nice thin round brush, and I'm going to add some black to define my lines. I'm going to clean those lines up really nice with the black. And then I'm going to get some white and I'm going to sign my name. And then I'm also going to overline it with some black. Make sure you comment and let me know what else you want to see me paint. Let me know if you want a paint kit. Please comment below, share, like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get all updates on my new tutorials that I'll be posting very soon. And I hope you guys enjoy this quarantine paint and sip kit. And I look forward to seeing you guys at a later time. Thank you so much.